Here's your wrestling news for October 14th, 2025. Your headlines for today include WWE's original vision plans before the stunning Raw betrayal revealed, real reason behind Bron Breakker's stunning betrayal of Seth Rollins revealed, WWE's emergency backup plans for Saturday night's main event and Survivor Series after Seth Rollins' injury, CM Punk in heated backstage confrontation with WWE official after Raw, WWE shocks fans with another major release, AJ Styles caught in the middle, forced into tag title match next week, the Usos rift deepens, WWE teasing explosive feud ahead. WWE books Becky Lynch versus Maxine Dupri for Intercontinental title next week, WWE's shocking booking decision for Stephanie Vaquer, and more. Raw kicked off with a recap of the chaotic events at Crown Jewel, setting the stage for Seth Rollins and his faction, The Vision, to celebrate their dominant performance at the premium live event. The World Heavyweight Champion made his entrance to a loud ovation, proudly declaring that this night was about him, yet still taking the time to praise each member of his group. Rollins highlighted their individual contributions, calling them the foundation of his success. When he got to Bronson Reed, the Australian crowd erupted in support. Rollins referred to him as the new tribal chief, which drew a mix of cheers and jeers from the audience. Rollins then shifted his tone, claiming he had done everything on his own, which sparked a loud bull chant from fans. The Visionary doubled down, insisting that while he didn't need anyone, he chose to surround himself with greatness because that's what a true Visionary does. It was a confident, almost self-indulgent promo, but surprisingly, no one came out to interrupt. Later in the night, the spotlight turned to the triple threat main event, CM Punk, Jey Uso, and LA Knight battling to determine the next challenger for Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight Championship. Before the match, Rollins was shown backstage with the Vision, reminding his allies that nobody can knock me off my mountaintop. It was a statement that would soon be put to the test. The match itself delivered everything expected from three top-tier stars. Knight came close to victory after landing the BFT on Punk, but Jey Uso pulled him out of the ring at the last second. Uso then went for his signature splash, only for Punk to counter by getting his knees up and hitting the GTS for a hard-fought win. After CM Punk's celebration, the Vision came out and Bron Breakker ran to the ring at breakneck speed. Instead of going for CM Punk, he ran around the ring to take out LA Knight with a spear. The Vision surrounded the ring after that, and they beat CM Punk down as Rollins looked on with a big smile on his face. But just as it looked like the Vision stood united, Breakker suddenly turned on Seth Rollins, blasting him with a thunderous spear. The shocking betrayal took place right after the closing credits rolled, leaving fans stunned. Moments later, Breakker convinced Bronson Reed to follow his lead. Reed hesitated for a second, then climbed the ropes and crushed Rollins with a massive tsunami. The arena gasped as Paul Heyman appeared. He looked shocked at first, but in the end, couldn't help but align himself, raised the hands of Breakker and Reed, and effectively joined the new regime. Breakker then picked up the World Heavyweight title as the show came to a close. In a follow-up post on Instagram, Bron Breakker shared several photos of the assault, declaring, "The Vision has never been more clear." While the betrayal stunned fans, multiple outlets have reported the real reason behind the sudden creative twist. According to PW Insider, Rollins will be undergoing testing in the coming days after sustaining a legitimate shoulder injury during his brutal Crown Jewel match. He reportedly injured himself attempting a coast-to-coast headbutt, but managed to finish the match and defeat Cody Rhodes. Fightful Select confirmed the report, adding that the betrayal angle was a heavy creative pivot. WWE originally planned for Breakker's split from Rollins to occur next year, but the company fast-tracked the storyline to write Rollins off TV while he recovers. Prior to Raw, a fan captured an image of Rollins walking the streets of Perth holding an ice cream cone with his left arm secured in a sling. The photo was quickly deleted, only adding to the speculation surrounding his injury. As Brian Alvarez noted last week, Rollins' scheduled match with CM Punk at Saturday night's main event on November 1st could now be in jeopardy, as well as the company's broader plans for Survivor Series on November 29th. With CM Punk now confirmed as the #1 contender, the big question is, what happens to the World Heavyweight title? Will Rollins be forced to relinquish the championship? Could WWE announce a tournament where the winner faces Punk at Saturday night's main event to crown a new champion? Given how suddenly this storyline shifted, it's clear the injury might be more serious than initially believed. If it were minor, WWE likely would have crafted a storyline absence without dismantling the Vision. Instead, the company executed a full-blown betrayal, signaling a major creative reset. So where do you see the new Vision heading from here? Is Bron Breakker being elevated too soon, or is this the perfect moment for his breakout? Where does Brock Lesnar fit into this evolving picture? And with CM Punk now waiting for his shot, how will WWE handle the championship situation in the weeks ahead? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Moments after the Vision shockingly turned on Seth Rollins, leaving the World Heavyweight Champion battered in the middle of the ring, the camera panned to reveal CM Punk already standing at ringside, steel chair in hand. Standing just a few feet away, Punk glared down at Rollins before raising the chair high, ready to strike, but before he could swing, Adam Pearce sprinted into the ring and grabbed it from behind. The two exchanged words in a heated confrontation, and for a second, it looked like Pearce might be next. Punk teased hitting him with the chair too, but instead sat down on it, staring out at the crowd in eerie silence. As his music hit, Punk stood up, tossed the chair aside, and posed for the fans, soaking in the deafening reaction. Without saying a word, he left the ring and made his way up the ramp, leaving behind the broken remnants of the Vision and a wounded Seth Rollins, a silent promise that this was only the beginning. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. Ridge Holland has shared a difficult update, the kind of news no injured wrestler ever wants to hear. Holland announced on Twitter, revealing that his current contract expires on November 14th and WWE has chosen not to extend it. The timing couldn't be worse as he's still recovering from a Lisfranc foot injury suffered during his match with Moose at the September 27th TNA tapings in Edmonton. The match had to be stopped midway after he landed awkwardly, and he later underwent surgery on October 3rd. Now, with no contract in place and no ability to return to the ring anytime soon, Holland said he's being forced to rethink his next steps. I've been informed that WWE will not be renewing my contract when it ends on November 14th. WWE are still going to cover my rehab from injury, but my guaranteed pay will end. Quite frustrating to say the least, as I cannot work for another 6 months due to the aforementioned injury with a family of 5 to support. Despite the setback, Holland expressed gratitude for his time in WWE, acknowledging that injuries repeatedly stalled his progress. My career with WWE has been blighted by misfortune, but I'm still thankful and grateful for the opportunity and experience. The shining light that has always kept me going is the huge support from a handful of special human beings. While his wrestling future remains uncertain, Holland made it clear that he isn't standing still. He plans to launch a new business while he continues his rehabilitation. As Ridge Holland prepares for this next chapter, how do you view WWE's decision not to renew his deal? Was it a reasonable business move given his injury, or should the company have stood by him until his full recovery? The opening match of Raw featured Dirty Dominik Mysterio defending the Intercontinental Championship against Penta. With no members of Judgment Day by his side, Dominik stepped into the ring alone. From the opening bell, both superstars came out swinging, turning the bout into a fast-paced brawl packed with sharp exchanges and high-impact encounters. Last week, Dominik Mysterio managed to retain his title against Rusev after delivering a low blow and stealing the victory, a move that didn't sit well with the Bulgarian Brute. This week, Rusev returned to even the score, attempting to cost Dominik his championship by interfering in the match. However, the plan backfired when Penta spotted the interference and took Rusev out before he could do any damage. Dominik capitalized on the chaos using the ring bell hammer to strike Penta's knee, then hiding it inside his boot to deliver a modified 619 hammer first to secure the win and retain the Intercontinental Championship. Now with Dominik set to defend his title against Rusev once again, the question looms, will Penta return the favor and interfere in their match? There was a standout moment earlier in the match when Dominik sent Penta face first into the ring post before landing a stunning suicide dive DDT that nearly launched Penta over the barricade and into the front row, narrowly missing a young fan. Backstage, tensions flared once again between Kairi Sane and Asuka. For the second time, Asuka slapped Kairi, this time demanding that she make up for the dishonor brought upon them after being pinned at Crown Jewel. Kairi, visibly shaken but determined, vowed to restore their pride, even as she revealed a painful bruise on her forehead from their recent encounters. Later in the night, Kairi Sane faced Rhea Ripley and made her entrance to her old theme song, drawing a loud reaction from the crowd. The match itself was an absolute banger, given plenty of time and intensity from start to finish. Both women delivered a physical, high-energy performance that kept the crowd fully engaged. In the end, Rhea Ripley picked up the victory, a fitting outcome in front of her hometown fans in Perth, Australia. After the match, Rhea tried to exact revenge on Asuka for her previous interference, but the Kabuki Warrior had other plans. Kairi struck Rhea with a vicious kendo stick shot before Asuka planted Ripley with a DDT on the announce desk. The Kabuki Warriors stood tall to close out the segment, and it's clear this feud is far from finished. Bronson Reed was set to face Jimmy Uso on Raw, but before the match began, tension between the Uso brothers was already on display. In a brief yet tense exchange, Jay told Jimmy he couldn't have his back tonight, explaining that his focus needed to remain on his main event later in the evening. The unease between them was very evident in this segment. Once the match got underway, Bronson Reed completely overpowered Jimmy Uso. Despite showing plenty of fight, Jimmy was clearly not at full strength, visibly clutching his ribs throughout the contest. Reed took full advantage, using his size and brute force to dominate the match before finally putting Jimmy away for the victory. After the bell, things only got worse for Jimmy. Bron Breakker stormed down to the ring and delivered 2 devastating spears, leaving Jimmy writhing in pain. Jey Uso then rushed out to protect his brother, fending off Breakker and helping Jimmy back to his feet. But as Jey stood tall, he too was seen clutching his ribs, clearly not at 100%, and perhaps distracted from his own upcoming #1 contenders match. With Jey banged up and their brotherhood showing clear signs of strain, one can't help but wonder what's next for the twins. With Jey out of the title picture and tension between the twins rising again, are we getting a brother versus brother WrestleMania rematch? An ecstatic and victorious Maxine Dupri drew a massive reaction in Australia as she celebrated last week's win over Becky Lynch and announced she'll receive an Intercontinental title match on next week's Raw. The opportunity is a huge moment for Maxine, but the outcome looks set. Becky Lynch is expected to regain momentum and defeat Maxine in that rematch. That result would naturally open the door for the rumored return of AJ Lee, a storyline that makes sense given that neither Becky nor AJ has been on this Australian tour. If Becky wins next week, expect their feud to ramp up quickly once AJ returns. How do fans feel about that direction? Happy to see Becky Lynch back on top and resume her feud with AJ Lee? Or should Maxine Dupri shock the world and walk out as the new Intercontinental Champion? Backstage after his incredible match with John Cena, AJ Styles was met by Adam Pearce, who praised the Phenomenal One for his performance. What began as a congratulatory moment quickly turned into something much bigger thanks to an unexpected suggestion from Dirty Dominik Mysterio. It was revealed that next week AJ Styles will team up with Dragon Lee to challenge Judgment Day's Finn Balor and JD McDonough for the Tag Team Championships. With momentum on their side, AJ and Dragon Lee bring the perfect mix of veteran experience and high-flying energy heading into the match. But the big question now is, would you like to see AJ Styles and Dragon Lee capture the tag team gold, or should Judgment Day continue their dominant reign? Bayley and Lyra Valkyria picked up a big win in tag team action tonight, defeating the Judgment Day's Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez. The match ended in dramatic fashion as Lyra slapped Bayley mid-match, and that moment completely changed Bayley's demeanor. The slap seemed to flip a switch, pushing Bayley into full focus mode as she unleashed a fiery comeback, dragged the Judgment Day back into the ring, and secured the victory for her team. This new dynamic between Bayley and Lyra feels refreshing, with Bayley showing shades of her old intensity while still evolving her character. Michael Cole also deserves credit for his sharp commentary during the match. He noted that Bayley had been sending him mixed personal messages, sometimes friendly, sometimes calling him an idiot, to highlight her unpredictable personality and layered character work. It was a small but effective storytelling touch that helped enhance Bayley's ongoing transformation, perfectly complementing what fans saw unfold in the ring. That being said, it appears this feud has officially come to an end, as the Judgment Day's Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez seem to be moving on. As seen on Raw, Roxanne Perez confronted Stephanie Vaquer, and all signs now point to a new rivalry between Perez and Vaquer for the Women's World Championship. The timing is a bit unusual considering Bayley and Lyra Valkyria just defeated Roxanne and Raquel, but it seems WWE is shifting focus toward building a fresh program for Stephanie. After weeks of uncertainty, fans may finally get to see her involved in a meaningful and competitive title feud. So what did you think of Raw this week? Were you expecting Breakker to turn on Rollins? And which segment stood out to you the most? Sound off in the comments below. Don't miss our next video coming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with all the latest wrestling updates. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.